or not remind you, I want to inform you that we're going to have a quiz Wednesday on law of sines. All right, so quiz Wednesday in class. It's a short class. We'll have like 40 minutes, probably 5 problems. Should be plenty of time to get the 5 problems done. It wouldn't be if maybe they all had 2 triangles, but that won't be the case. So quiz on Wednesday on law of sines only. Tomorrow we'll go over tonight's homework, which is the ambiguous case again, side-side angle, like the 4 that we're going to look at now. And tomorrow we'll start on the law of cosines after we go over homework. All right, so let's have a look at number 7. Now, if you're not given a triangle, the first thing, the most important thing to do with these types of problems is to draw the triangles. We have A, B, C. Don't try to draw your triangle to scale. Shh, now listen. Don't try to draw your triangle to scale. Just draw a generic ABC triangle and we'll label it from there. So we've got C is 66 degrees. And little b is 34 feet, and C is 20. And we can see that the configuration of this information is side-side angles, so we may have a second triangle. All right. That second triangle, and we rushed through this on Thursday, that second triangle is always going to come. We're going to know immediately, after we find the first piece, we're going to know immediately whether we have a second triangle or not. That's when we're going to determine if there's a second triangle or not a second triangle, or no triangle. And the good thing about it is that the law of sines, side-side angle case, always forces us which piece we're going to find, right? Which piece are we forced to find first here? Let me ask that a different way. Which piece do we know nothing about? A. We don't know anything about A or the angle A or side A. But we do know one thing about B, right? Is that what you're going to say? Victoria, so we're forced to find angle B first. All right, so we will do sine of B over 34 equals sine of 66, which is angle C, over side C. When you cross multiply, we're not going to fully cross multiply. We're going to bring this up. Be 34 times the sine of 66 over 20. That means angle B is going to be the inverse sine of 34 times the sine of 66 over 20. Right? And when you try to do that, your calculator gives you what? Error. So that first piece of information that we're looking for in the ambiguous case, side-side angle, tells us in this instance that we have no triangle. You cannot construct a triangle with these 3 pieces of information in that configuration. It's not possible. Okay, so that's number 7, the not a triangle case. Let's look at number 8. Number 8. Again, we're not given a triangle, so we're going to draw one. So we will... Here we go, draw a triangle. Triangle ABC, just a generic triangle. We don't have to make it to scale. If you wanted to, you could. The triangle is going to become these drawn triangles. When you have a second triangle, the drawn triangles are going to become our guides. They're going to tell us what pieces we found, what pieces we're looking for, what pieces we still need. It's also labeling the triangle is going to tell us if our information makes sense. Right? You can always label your triangle to see if the values that you found actually make sense in the context of a triangle. In other words, the smallest side across from smallest angle, etc. So we're given that B is 46 degrees there. Side B is 30, side A is 31. Okay? Now, which piece are we forced to find first? A, angle A, right? Because we don't know anything about C. So we will do sine of angle A divided by 31 equals the sine of 46 over 30. And that means that A is going to equal the inverse sine of 31 sine of 46 over 30. So what is angle A? 48 even? Okay, 48. Now, this is 48 degrees. Now, that first piece of information that I found, like I said, is going to tell us whether we have a second triangle or not. If we have a second triangle, A prime, the A angle in the second triangle would be 180 minus 48, which is 132 degrees. We have to see if that angle with the given angle leaves us room for a second triangle. 132 plus 46 is 178. Because that's less than 180, I've got a second triangle. So I'm going to draw the second triangle right now. Okay? Just draw it somewhere in your... so we can kind of see what this second triangle is going to look like. Label it the same way as your other one. A, B, C, but this is going to be A prime. 132, and I know that looks nothing like a 132 degree angle, but the given information, 46, 31, and 30, remains the same. So there's my second triangle. Okay? And if it really bothers you that that's obviously an acute angle that I have labeled 132, then by all means you could draw it to scale. But it's a placeholder for our information. Okay? So 132 degrees, 46. So we can quickly now, all that we're missing in both triangles is C and the side opposite. Right? This one will be C prime and little c prime that we're missing in that triangle. So let's go back up to our first triangle and solve it, this one. What's the measure of angle C? 46 plus 48 is 94, which means we've got 86 degrees left there. C is 86 degrees, which means little c over sine of 86 is equal to 30 over sine of 46. Always go back to your given information. We were given 30 and 46 to begin with, so let's use that. We know that information is right. It's just not going to help us if the 86 is wrong, but it's just a good habit when you're working with problems to use the given information as much as possible. Cross multiply there, and we get C equals 30 times the sine of 86 divided by the sine of 46, which is approximately how much? How much? Somebody talking to me? 41.6. That seems large, doesn't it? 41.6. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Why does it make sense? Largest sides across from the largest angle, the smallest sides across from the smallest angle. We want to make sure that the values that we find make sense, right? Does this triangle seem to be proportionate? All right, now to find the values in the second triangle, let's finish it up. Angle C prime is 46 and 132 is 178, which means that angle there is little bitty, 2 degree angle. C prime is 2 degrees, which means little c over the sine of 2 degrees is equal to, again, back to the given information, 30 over the sine of 46 degrees. 30 divided by, we expect that to be pretty small, right? It's the opposite of 2 degree angle. What is it? 1.5? Is that right? Approximately 1.5. So C prime is 1.5. And I've got my two triangles there complete. All right. So the second triangle or no second triangle or not a triangle at all comes from that first piece of information that you find when you're given side-side angle scenario. Is that better? Yeah, let's look at number 8. Number 9, rather. 9. Y'all awake? Nothing like trig on a Monday morning. Gotta love it. Okay. Let's go. Draw a triangle, label it with the given information. A, B, C. Angle B is 78. Little b, 17. Little a is 10. And this is side-side angle. Make yourself a note. Whenever you have side-side angle, you want to know it. Side-side angle means we're dealing with the special case. The ambiguous case. Okay? Which piece are we forced to find? A, right? So sine of A divided by 10 is equal to the sine of 78 divided by 17. We're going to put this 10 right up there, cross multiply, and A is going to be the angle or inverse sine of 10 times the sine of 78 over 17, which gave us what for A? 35 even? 35.1. 35.1, which means if there's a second A prime, it would be 144.9. Is that right? Can we have a 144.9 for a second A value? Is that right, Lauren? 144.9? 144.9 plus 78. That's way over 180 degrees, right? So this triangle is not possible. Now, if you wanted to draw the second triangle to determine that, you're welcome to. This is 78. Oopsie. 78. And this A value is 144.9. If there was an A prime, that can't work. Right? It's too many degrees. Did you have a question? You good? All right, so no second triangle. We just got to find our first one. So go back to the first one. Little a is 35.1. Which means C is 113.1 minus 180. What's C here? Up top. Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. What's C? How much? 66.9. Okay. Which means this C value, C divided by sine of 66.9 is equal to the given information, which is 17 over sine of 78. And C is 17 times the sine of 66.9 divided by the sine of 78 degrees. 16. C equals 16. And make sure that your triangle makes sense. Is the largest side across from the largest angle? Yes. Is the smallest side across from the smallest angle? It is, and we're good to go. All right, let's do one more. Let's do number 10, and then I believe number 10 maybe has two triangles. Did it have two triangles? So that's the difficult case, right? Finding that second triangle if you have two triangles. So let's start out by drawing our first triangle. A, B, C. Alpha, beta, gamma. A is 19 degrees. Little a is 26. And little c is 35. Again, we have side angle configuration, right? It's important to note that. All right. Which piece are we forced to find first? C. So sine of C divided by 35 is equal to sine of 19 divided by 26. We're going to cross multiply and move that C, this 35, up. When we're using the properties of proportions, sine of C would be 35 times the sine of 19 over 26. So C is the inverse sine of 35 sine of 19 divided by 26, which means C equals how much? 26. Thank you. 26 degrees. Anytime you're dealing with angles this small to begin with, I mean, you should watch. There's lots of room in the triangle, right? C equals 26 degrees, which means that C prime in a second triangle would be 180 minus 26, which is what, 154 degrees? Is that right? 154? Is there enough room? 154, 19? Yes. Okay, so go ahead and sketch your second triangle. A, B, C. Label what was given, 19 degrees, 26, 35, the same pieces given information. We found that this angle up here for C was 26 degrees, and our C prime angle is 154. All right? Be pretty easy to find both of our angle B's at this point. 19 plus 26 up top is 135, which makes this, is 35, which makes this 145. In the bottom, 154 and 19 is 173, which makes this a smooth 7 degrees. Then we just have to find little b up here and b prime down in the bottom. Okay, to find little b up top, we do b over sine of 145 equals what we were given, a, 26 over sine of 19. Cross multiply, b equals 26 times the sine of 145 divided by the sine of 19, which gives us how much? It's going to be big, isn't it? How much is it? 50 something? 56.5? It is? Oh, I got it wrong. So this is 135. Of course it is 135. Thank you. You're good. You're not scared to tell me when I'm wrong. You're just the only person paying attention. Would you tell me if I had a booger in my nose? Good. Everybody needs a good booger friend. All right. Second triangle, little c, c prime, or b prime, right? Yeah. B prime over sine of 7 degrees is equal to, given information is 26 over sine of 19, which means b prime is 26 times the sine of 7 degrees divided by the sine of 19 degrees. It's going to be a small value because across from the smallest angle. And what do we get for b prime? 7? 9.7? And both our triangles are complete. Okay, the three pieces of information that we found up here were C, B, and C, little c, and then we found these three pieces of information down here. So that's how you would label that. All right, so that's just another quick review of side-side angle, or the ambiguous case of the law of